Columbine by Dave Cullen, timeline that you will be seeing throughout the presentation so that you'll be able to visualize each event in order. The symptoms were stark in retrospect, but subtle at the same time, invisible to the untrained eye. Page 256. This quote is extremely significant because throughout the whole book, we see a side of Dylan and Eric that were hidden from the world. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, better known as Reb and Vodka, were a pair of seemingly harmless best friends that were capable of cold-blooded murder. Eric, seen in the left, was a clean-cut, all-American guy. He participated in drinking and smoking and would attend all the parties, but chose to be a loner. He was fascinated with Nazi-related things and had a natural knack for violence, much like his best friend Dylan, who is seen on the right. Dylan was a hot-tempered guy. Usually he was quiet and kept to himself, but other times he would just explode. Like Eric, Dylan drank and smoked, but tended to follow Eric in most, if not all, of his decisions. These two boys had been planning the massacre for 2 years. March 31st, 1997, Dylan started to write in a journal. By reading his journal, we've come to learn that Dylan was a very depressed kid. He shares feelings of loneliness and anger towards the world. He also wrote very passionately about his religious views and questioned if there was a God. On July 23rd, 1997, Dylan first mentions killing in his journal and considers the thrill. While Dylan confessed his true feelings inside this journal, Eric expresses himself through a hate website, later ordered by police to take down. Eric doesn't begin writing in a journal until April 10, 1998, where he outlined his attacks and building of weapons, specifically pipe bombs. Judgment Day is a term Dylan and Eric used for the day of the horrific massacre. April 20, 1999, 2 years after Eric and Dylan began planning this, the two boys walked into school during second period after placing 2 distraction bombs in a nearby park. After strategically parking their cars, the boys entered the school placing 2 pipe bombs in the cafeteria, right below the library, and then went to the front of the school. When the bombs failed to work, the 2 boys began shooting everyone and anyone. Once they ran out of the targets, the boys continued into the school and finally to the library, where most of the murders took place. Cassie Bernal, Steve Kernow, Corey DePuter, Kelly Fleming, Matt Ketcher, Daniel Mazur, Daniel Rorbo, Rachel Scott, Isaiah Scholes, John Tomlin, Lauren Townsend, Kyle Venezuela, and Coach Dave Saunders. These are the names of the 13 victims of the Columbine massacre that will never be forgotten. After shock wore off, the mourning began. There was a candlelight vigil for the victims, and 13 crosses were placed upon a hill in remembrance of these victims. It's always difficult to deal with tragedies such as the Columbine shooting, but I believe we overlook how often these events occur. The Virginia Tech shooting with 32 victims from teachers to students of various majors, and the Connecticut shooting with 20 students, 6 adults, the gunman's mother, and the gunman himself all dead. These horrific events are more common than we think. There are many lessons to be learned in this book, but here are 3. 1. Be aware of everyone. 2. Educate and make yourself aware of youth violence. 3. Many teens have secrets that even the people that love them most don't know about. On April 20th, 1999, 2 boys went to their high school with bombs and guns. Their goal was to leave a lasting impression on the world. The horror they inflicted left an indelible stamp on the American psyche.